All right, let's dive into one of Pakistan's most ambitious and, yeah, most controversial developments, Bahria town, Karachi. It was marketed as this incredible, self-contained paradise. But what's the real story hiding behind that shiny promise? Let's get into it. To really get the appeal of Bahria town, you have to understand what people are trying to get away from. This quote from a resident really says it all. And that is the megacity of Karachi. A place with incredible energy, for sure, but also a place of constant gridlock, strained infrastructure, and, a never-ending search for security. And this contrast you see here, this is basically the entire sales pitch. On one side, you've got the reality of Karachi, and on the other, the dream of Bahria town. The whole concept was to be a total antidote to the city's problems, planned, secure, and modern, right from the very beginning. So let's start with that vision, because it was powerful. Bahria town wasn't sold as just another housing project. Oh no, it was presented as this self-sufficient utopia, a whole city in and of itself. The scale is just staggering. We're talking over 46,000 acres. It absolutely earns its nickname. This isn't just a neighborhood. It's a massive, sprawling private metropolis designed from the ground up to offer a completely different way of life. And this is how they painted that picture of a perfect life. The core idea was that you would literally never need to leave. I mean, think about it. Pakistan's largest cricket stadium, a theme park, top-tier schools, a night safari. It was designed to be this all-inclusive world that took care of every single need you could possibly have. But as we all know, paradise usually comes with a pretty hefty price tag. So what did it actually cost to buy into this vision? Let's count the costs. Well, for the people who got in early, it's been a very profitable ride. A residential plot you could have bought for about 17 lakh rupees can now sell for up to 40 lakh. And get this, a Quaid villa that started at around 72 lakh has soared to over 230 lakh rupees. So as an initial investment, the returns have been absolutely huge. But here's the thing. That initial purchase price, whether it was 17 lakh or 72 lakh, is really just the tip of the iceberg. The costs don't just stop once you get the keys to your new place. This is where those ongoing costs really start to add up. First, to actually take legal ownership, you have to pay these big possession charges. And if you're late, bam, a steep 20% penalty. Then, every single month, you've got fixed maintenance and utility fees, whether you're living there or not. And if you have to commute, that daily motorway toll becomes this constant little tax on your decision to live so far out. Which brings us to the human side of all this. We've talked about the marketing, we've talked about the money, but what is daily life actually like for the thousands of people who call Bahria town home? For many, many residents, the answer is simple. It's absolutely worth it. For people who are just fed up with the chaos of Karachi, the peace, the security, the cleanliness of Bahria town is, like this resident said, heaven sent. It really delivers on that core promise of a calmer life. But then, of course, there's the other side of the coin. This critique here suggests that in creating this perfect, orderly world, maybe something essential was lost. The argument is that the design just copies American suburbs, creating this sterile, car-centric environment that's missing the organic, walkable heartbeat of a real city. And that design has some very real and very expensive consequences. As this student points out, you absolutely need a car for pretty much everything. And that dependency leads to massive fuel bills. We're talking 50 to 60,000 rupees a month for this person. And that's not even counting the hours and hours you lose commuting into Karachi for work or school. So really, the lived reality is a clear trade-off. You get all the pros they promised. It's clean, it's safe, the infrastructure is modern, but you pay for it with the cons. A really draining commute, a feeling of being isolated, high fuel costs, and even this weird bureaucracy of a private city, like needing a special pass just to move your own furniture. Now, moving beyond the day-to-day life of residents, there's a much bigger story here. It's a story that has cast a shadow over this project from the very beginning, and it all comes down to the fundamental question of the land itself. The project's legal history has been, well, a roller coaster. It launches in 2014. Then, 4 years later, the Supreme Court drops an absolute bombshell. The original land grant was illegal. Threw everything into question. It took another year for a massive settlement to be reached to try and make it all legitimate. And that settlement came with this just mind-boggling price tag. Bahria town agreed to pay 460 billion Pakistani rupees to the government to legalize its land. I mean, the sheer size of that number tells you everything you need to know about the incredible scale of the legal fight at the heart of this whole development. So let's zoom all the way out. We've seen the dream, the price tag, the reality, and the huge legal battles. What does a project like Bahria town actually mean for the future of cities in Pakistan? This take from academic research offers a really important perspective. It frames Bahria town not as a solution to Karachi's bigger problems, like its serious housing shortage, but as something else entirely. It's an exclusive, gated community designed specifically for those who can afford to buy their way out of those problems. Which really brings us to the central question, doesn't it? Do projects like this represent the future of how we live in cities? Or are they just beautiful, perfectly planned escapes that allow a lucky few to put up a wall and ignore the very real problems that everyone else still has to face? The answer to that is going to shape cities across the region for years to come.